Great morning, great morning, great morning. 8 o'clock. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses. We're getting ourselves still squared away, getting ready to go live here on Instagram in just a quick second. But I want you guys to just do me a huge favor if you can. Chime in and let us know where you are tuning in from. We're going to get into a subject today that Cherie and I talk about or just started talking about in our MAPS Relationship Academy. We're going to give you guys sort of some highlights, but really the goal is to help you guys really understand the difference between love and respect, how it plays out in relationships, and how you can grow it better. I will tell you on the front end that today's show is really going to be an overview. We're going to talk about a lot of surface things, not going to get into the deep recesses of it because quite honestly, A, we don't have time, and B, we don't know your situation. So what I'd like you to do, if you are coming on, and this is your first time, I want you to first of all put first timer in the chat. First timer, right? And then secondly, I want you to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you definitely click the link, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. And the third thing, ring my bell. And then the third thing, guys, here's what I'd like you to do. Please consider joining the MAPS Relationship Academy because at that particular point, you get a chance to get in a room with us on a consistent basis so that we can learn who you are, how y'all's relationship is set up, and how we can best help you. We're getting ready to go live on Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, do us a favor, log into our Instagram account, Breakfast with the Brookses, on Instagram, and let's engage that community as well. So let's get ready to go live here on Instagram, and we'll go from there. What's going on, Instagram? Good to see you guys. We are live, Breakfast with the Brookses, getting ready to go down for another week. We're going to go live here on YouTube as well. And just want to say, hey, guys, what's up?
Good morning.
Everybody good? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, Cherie, I want to really kind of go through this scenario with people.
Nice this morning.
Well, thank you. I'm losing a few LBs. I broke out a shirt that I've had in my closet for months. Hadn't been able to really even put it on. So I'm excited about that. And we're going to do what we got to do. It's been a minute since I've had sugar like that. I've had a little bit, but for the most part, kept up no sugar since we went on that 21-day fast for a while now. So it's starting to show. More importantly, I'm getting my clarity back. What's up? I think that's Deirdre on Instagram. Do me a favor. Instagram, put your government name on the deal so that we can know who you are, your good government name. For those of you guys who are here in the MAPS, I'm sorry, not MAPS Relationship Academy, obviously. I think we're on our MAPS Relationship Academy. I'm looking for my chat. Do me a favor, pull it up on your phone really quickly because I can't quite see. Give me a second, guys. I'm looking for...
I don't think your screen's all the way up.
Yeah, my screen is not all the way up. Hold on one second, guys.
I will find you.
Hold on. We are looking for you guys' comments. Give me 1 second.
I will find you.
1 second. I see that we got some people in the room here.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Miss G. Good morning, Stephanie. Good
Yes.
morning, Malika. Motivate. Good morning,
Yes.
Nikkei. Good morning, Marsha. Good morning, Sidna. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
What's up? What's
hey
up,
guys,
party
don't
people?
know if you guys caught this morning when Gunn did his little intro on Facebook, but we are looking to get to our 500th subscriber on YouTube. And we are going to be I'm going to be sending a special gift to the 500th subscriber. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe or share this out to your friends and family and associates and frenemies and anybody.
We want any and everybody
that you think could benefit from our content on our page. Please, please, please share this out. Invite them to subscribe and let them know that the 500th subscriber will be receiving a free gift from us.
Yep.
For subscribing, just as our thank you for reaching 500.
Yep.
We were trying to reach it by the end of the year. We didn't really push it, but I
want
to reach 500.
Yep.
And
so
then I have
another gift.
Another goal after we reach 500. For those of you that do follow us that know, my 55th birthday is coming up.
55, and let's stay alive.
So if we can get to 555 by March 19th, that person will get an extraordinary special gift.
Extraordinary special 555th. Them's a lot of fives, bro.
555.
555. Triple five in the his apps, right? Y'all know I'm old. Listen, really quickly, guys, we just want to invite everybody. If you've never heard about the MAPS Relationship Academy, let me take a quick second, babe, and help people understand that the real reason we show up on YouTube is to help people further than what we do on YouTube. What we do on YouTube, what we do on Instagram,
These are cliff notes.
these are cliff notes. We don't know your specifics. We don't know the intricacies of your situation. Everybody's situation is very different. But what we do in the MAPS Relationship Academy is we go deep. We drill down onto what's going on in your life, what's really happening in your relationship, and how do we specifically help you in a group coaching environment. And so we've been doing it now for 3 years. And we have 5 different group coaching platforms, group rooms that we do there. Can you tell folks about it a little bit?
Right, we have a couples room, which is for individuals who are married, engaged, or have been in long-term relationships looking to move towards marriage. Then we also have a parenting room for individuals that are parents, whether you're a single parent, whether you're married and parenting, or whether you are in a co-parenting situation.
You have to talk up a little bit, babe.
It's for all the parents in that room. Then we also have a singles room, and this is a singles room for individuals who are single but looking to one day get married. That's the distinction. You are single, but you are looking to one day get married, whether you've been married before, maybe divorced, or had a long-term relationship in the past, but you want to learn how to do things differently the next time so you can get married and have a successful relationship. Then we also have an individual room for men only, where Glenn gets with the guys. And then we also have ladies only groups. The ladies are split into 2 groups. There's a singles ladies group, so we can deal with single lady issues.
Single lady? I'm a single lady.
Then also there's a coupled ladies group where I get with the ladies who are in relationships, who are married, and deal with relationship issues for those that are currently in relationships. And so actually it's 6 groups, just one is split in half, but those are the groups that we have. We can meet, we hope to try to meet everyone's needs in those groups. And basically what we've done is that, for those that don't know us, both Glenn and I both have been married before. I've been married twice before. He's been married once before, and both have been in long-term relationships in the past before. And we've taken lessons from our mistakes in the past and lessons from other people that we've coached over the years, things that we've learned, tools and tips to be able to help you have a successful relationship. And we try to add value to people who are on a journey to have successful relationships by providing them support. And also, as coaches, what we do is, if your goal is to have a successful relationship, we help you to map out a game plan on how to get there.
Right.
People get married and say, "Ooh, we're getting married." Okay, we're married now.
Yeah.
But you don't have a vision. You don't have a goal. You don't have a place that you're going. Getting married. If getting married is the goal, okay, what happens once you say I do?
It's kind of like the person that their goal was to make it to the NFL. Their goal was to make it to the NBA. But what happens once you get there?
Right, you're there.
You're there. Do you commit to winning, having a winning season? Do you commit to having, making the playoffs? Do you commit to going far in the playoffs? Are you committing to go all the way to the championship? Are you committed to winning multiple championships? Every player has a different commitment level.
Right.
Every relationship has a different commitment level. And I often think that it's short-sighted for us to look at the day of, meaning the wedding, or the fact that I just got to the league, as the goal.
Right.
Because if you're going to live life in that space for any length of time, you're going to need the tools that it takes for you to build a winning season, a winning team, the whole bit.
Right.
And if you're married, guys, I'm going to promise you today, we're going to help you. Even if you're dating, today is really going to help you. We're going to kind of do some overview. We're not going to really drill super deep. We're going to be here for a couple of weeks. We're talking about love and respect. Here's the question I want to ask really quickly. Oh, by the way, if you want to be a part of that relationship academy that Sheree was just talking about, I want you to go to www.thecrcoach.com. www.thecrcoach.com. If you are on Instagram, and you can put that in the chat, that would be super beautiful. www.thecrcoach, C as in constant, R as in relationship, coach.com. Click a link that says sign up for a free discovery session, and then that will enable you to schedule a meeting with us. Be about 15 minutes. It'll probably be me that we'll get together. I'll do a quick assessment and figure out if we're a match, and if we are, boom, we'll put you in the academy. It's a subscription-based deal, but there's an investment involved, because quite frankly, you're investing in something that hopefully you're going to be in for the rest of your life. and we're talking about relationships. So definitely want to make sure that you do. And by the way, guys, if you're a part of the Relationship Academy, do me a favor, because people need to know what your experience is like. Can y'all do me a favor and just drop a 1 or 2 sentence blurb on your experience in the MAPS Relationship Academy for those that may be looking, that have no idea what this is. Even if you're on Instagram, just drop a, I've been in it this long. This is how it's helped me. I encourage you to jump in and be a part of this, and why. Because I think people need to know that it works for other people, right, and maybe what those experiences are. So with all that being said, let's just get into some things. And babe, we don't have notes this morning. I just want to talk just a little bit freely and kind of get the audience engaged just a little bit, guys. Here's what I want to do off the break. Do me a favor, really quickly, put in, when you hear the word unconditional, just blanket word unconditional, what does that mean to you? What does that produce? What kind of thought does that produce in your mind? Put it in the chat. If you hear the word unconditional, when you hear that word, what do you hear? That's the question for Instagram. That's the question for YouTube. Put it in the chat. Baby, when you hear the word unconditional, what are you hearing?
I know before we got married, unconditional to me, I saw that as the only way I could relate unconditional was I had unconditional love for my child, mm-hmm, which meant that there's this love that you have for your child, this no matter what, mm-hmm, I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. I have to be honest, I never had that for anyone else other than my child, mm-hmm, prior to you and I getting married. I didn't understand the benefits of that. It was always, if you do this, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. There were consequences. There were not consequences, but there was going to be, kind of like a get back. You can't do this without,
right.
And so if you do this, I had certain things like, if you do this, I'm done.
Right.
I would cut a person off really quick. I had no grace. And
gotcha.
So for me now, having a better understanding what unconditional means, unconditional is just as I said, it's unconditional. It's not having, not having unrealistic expectations.
Okay,
and it's extending.
Let's stop there because I want to go to the chat. Okay. Karen says, somebody 40 beats. I'm not sure who that is on YouTube. Do me a favor, put your name in the chat so I can address you a little bit more personally. But 40 beats says never ending. Tiffany says no matter what. I love that. Unrestricted. The fatherless generation. Tori says unrestricted. Tori, mm-hmm, that's a really good word. When I hear the word unrestricted, what that means is that it has no that you have all access.
Right.
That you have, when you have an all access pass, right, at an event, like whatever is there, you can be a part of that, right? Mm-hmm. I love that word. Sidna said limitless. I love that. Mm-hmm. Hey Phyllis, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Wholehearted, Tori says. Guys, Chris and I are, and that's a statement about MAPS. Appreciate that that shout out and that testimonial there, Deirdre. But they're talking about being grateful for being in the MAPS community. One of the things that I want to share, guys, and do me a favor, Instagram, y'all chime in as well. Here's one of the things that I love about that word, limitless. I love Anthony Thompson, young soldier. What's up, Ant? Hey. Good to see you, bro. That's what's up. Good. That's what's up. So what I love about that word limitless, babe, is this. When I think of something that's unconditional, what I'm thinking, and I hear that word limitless, it means that if the love is unconditional, it's limitless love. Mm-hmm. If the respect is unconditional, it's limitless or unrestricted respect, meaning I'm just going to give that to you. You're just going to get that.
That goes with love, unconditional love.
It does. But the whole part of it, and I know, we know that, and we wrap our minds around that really easily when it comes to love. Right. You can grasp that concept, no doubt, when it comes to love. Parents love their children unconditionally. It don't matter what you do. Like I hate what you did, but I love you. Right. We understand that with love. But be honest, have you ever heard unconditional associated with the word respect? Put that in the chat. Yes or no. Have you ever really heard the word unconditional when you put that in context or in the same sentence with the word respect?
Right, and I would dare say, most people haven't. I know for me, I grew up, you grow up with this mentality, respect has to be earned.
Yeah.
I give respect when somebody gives me respect. And people don't realize that, respect, especially in the context of marriage, that it's a command, just like it's a command for a husband to love his wife, it's a command for the wife to respect her husband.
Right.
And I think oftentimes we, especially
for my Bible scholars, just go to Ephesians 5. It's verse 33 in the NIV version. It talks about husbands, love your wives.
And we usually stop right there.
And we usually stop right there. That's the part of the scripture everybody stops. You're supposed to love me. You see this? The scriptures.
The scriptures say.
The scriptures say.
Husbands, love your wife.
You know what I'm saying?
As Christ so loved the church.
You not being godly towards me.
Right. You just skipped a whole bunch of stuff.
But the back part of that says for wives to respect your husbands. Right. And today we're going to begin to unpack it a little bit. We're going to go into this really deep over the course of the next couple of weeks. But I want you guys to first of all understand that there are levels to loving. There also are levels to respect. Put that in the chat. There are levels to this. Put it in the chat. When I say there are levels, many people hear that word, well, I will respect you when you respect me, or I will love you when you love me. I want to keep this in the context of a marriage, because that's the premise of what we're talking about. It can apply to you as a parent, certainly can apply to you as a single person dating. But for today's show, I want to keep this kind of narrowed a little bit to the context of marriage. Just for a second, I want to explain in Ephesians 5 for those believers, even if you're not a believer, the principle is this: that husbands are built in such a way where they need respect in order to give love. Wives or women are built in such a way that they need love in order to be able to generate easily respect. And whenever a woman, particularly fellas, when she is your wife, if she's feeling unloved, here's what I'm going to almost guarantee you 100% of the time: she is not going to be able to easily respect you.
Right. And I think the key is feeling love. Us. Just like a man needs to feel respected.
Yes.
I know for me, and we talked about this a little bit in the group, for me, prior to us getting married, in my previous relationships, and just growing up, I did not understand the concept of respect, particularly respecting a man, which is weird in one sense, because I use the example, typically most of us, you work or you've worked in the workforce at some point in time, and there's a certain level of respect that you have for your supervisors. Mm-hmm. Whether you like them, hate them, disagree with them or not, there's a level of respect that you give that person because of the position.
Absolutely.
That they're in. Because this person has, they can write it, they write your check for all intensive purposes.
Right.
And so there's a certain level of respect. You can disagree with them on something, but you're not going to just come at them any kind of way because you respect them.
Right.
You respect the position that they're in.
Right.
And I think that what happens is that we're not taught to respect the position of a husband as wives. We're not taught to respect the position of a husband. We're taught, you fall in love, you get married, yeah, he my husband, but we don't understand that there's a level of respect that comes for that position, whether he's right, wrong, or not. He's still, when you marry him, you're placing him in a certain position in your life, and if you don't respect that position, it's very easy to be disrespectful to him.
So, Cherie, are you saying that because you were not taught, and let's talk about you for a second, you were not modeled or taught, or no one sat you down and said, this is what respecting your husband looks like, and this is what respecting, if we could call it this way, the position of a husband.
Right.
If almost use it like a job title. Let's say that my job as a husband, and my job is to love you, and my title is husband.
Right.
Okay. Let's use it in that context. So what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, you're saying that no one ever taught you what it looked like to respect my position.
Right.
So therefore, because when I do something that's not loving toward you, it is difficult for you to produce respect for me personally, because you already don't know how to produce respect for the position that I hold in your life.
Right. And if you think about it, okay,
That's
so
deep.
if you've ever worked on a job and you have somebody that comes on a job and they just disrespectful. They just come out their mouth, they say anything. In most cases, they're not going to be there long.
Yeah.
They're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Especially if they're disrespectful to the boss, to the supervisor.
Right.
But I think that because we don't respect the position, and that's key. It's the position. It's not whether he's right. It's not whether or not you agree with him 100% of the time. When you get married, just like a wife, we both have a position in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We both, and I don't want to use the word role because it's different than roles.
Okay.
There's a certain position that you carry. As a wife, there's a certain position that I carry in the house as the wife. As the husband, there's a certain position that he carries. For those of you that are spiritual, the husband is supposed to be the head. He's supposed to be the lead. That doesn't mean that he's the boss of you.
Right.
It doesn't mean that he gets to lord over you.
Absolutely.
But he is, if we're going to use a business structure, he's the CEO.
Right.
Now, the wife may be the COO. She's the chief of operations.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
But he's the chief executive officer.
When you think of wives, you think of them.
We handle all the operations.
Y'all handle all the operations. That's a great analogy.
So if you use that analogy like a business, if I don't respect the CEO, I'm going to just go off and do what I want to do. I'm going to just, make decisions. I'm going to just do everything without checking in. I'm going to, when I disagree with something, I'm sitting in a board meeting with him and I disagree with him. I'm like, oh, that's stupid. And I'm going to say that in front of everybody else. I would get fired.
We would never do that in a corporate setting.
You would not do that to your boss.
And if you did, you would get fired.
But
or you could
we will treat
be fined or whatever.
Right. We will treat our spouse worse than somebody on the side of the road that we don't know as far as respecting them, because we'll go back and forth with them like we have no relationship. It's like the respect I disagree with you and the respect just goes on the show.
Dre said you in the house all day on Instagram. Guys, listen, do me a favor. Instagram, y'all do me a huge favor. Hit the arrow at the bottom of the screen. Share this out. YouTube, share this out. We're talking about love and respect for those of you guys that just jumped on. And Cherie and I, for many of you guys already know this, some may not, we just celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary. We both had been married before. I was married twice. I'm sure she was married twice. I was married for 12 years prior to one another. And I think that if there was one single thing that I learned in that previous marriage, babe, is that I was never taught how to love Deirdre.
Right.
I don't ever remember being taught what it looked like to love her unconditionally, right? The reason why I can tell you that I know that to be true is because when the crap hits the fan, when it really goes down and rubber meets the road, will you hang in there with a person? Will you hang through adversity? Will you hang in there when there's misunderstandings and, in my case, infidelities and things like that? Is there any staying power in you? As a man, here's what I know to be true. If I have learned how to love you, it gives you staying power.
Right.
Because even in my indiscretions, even if I mess up, even in my human faults and frailties, the love trumps that.
Right.
In the sense of you can isolate stuff and say, okay.
You made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
But that doesn't mean you're a mistake.
Say that again, babe.
You made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that you're a mistake or you're bad. You did something bad, but that doesn't make you bad. But when we feel like we're not being loved, everything becomes exacerbated. So if you do something wrong and I'm not feeling love, now it's the end of the world.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I have no grace. I have no nothing because there's no. Why am I even doing this? You don't love me. You're not treating me. You're not making me feel loved. So why am I going to even be willing to try to go through whatever the situation is for you to be able to grow, for you to be able to change? That's so good.
That's so good, babe.
Because I don't feel loved. So at that point, it's like whatever.
Babe, let me tell you what's so powerful about that, because so many times, and as coaches, guys, we get to see this all the time, unfortunately, where we get to coach people who are going through in their relationship. And by the time they've come to us, most often they've been to several counselors. They've gone to their pastor. They've gone to all their friends. And they're coming to us saying, we need some help. We need somebody to tell us flat out, how do we navigate past this? That's the question. I don't care what this is.
Right.
And one of the things that we have found is that when a husband has not been taught how to love his wife and show her love and make her feel love, and he screws up, he does something stupid. And it could be, handling the money. It could be, how he communicates. It could be, obviously, infidelity or anything that you would have put in the category of dumb move, bonehead move, stupid, really crazy mistake.
Right.
You shouldn't have did that. She is not willing to go through the fire with him.
Right.
If she's going into that mistake feeling unloved.
Right.
However, what she is able to do, if he has a track record, put that in the chat. Put that in the chat. If he has a track record of loving her or showing her or making her feel love,
right,
and he has made a bonehead mistake,
mm-hmm.
when we get to work with them, it becomes much easier to coach them because she's willing to compartmentalize that stuff and be able to say, okay, let's get over this hurdle.
Right, right.
And then the other is true of when I have a woman that we're coaching and she has never been taught how to respect a man.
Right.
She has never taught or modeled how to respect her husband. It's hard for her to show him respect when she's not feeling love because she's never been taught that.
Right, and then if you get the two things going on at the same time, it's like, okay, so he's not showing her love. She's not respecting him. It's not good. And this goes both ways. I don't want people to think this is... Women need to feel respected as well.
Yeah. We're definitely...
Just like men need to feel loved as well. So it goes both ways, but principally, we're just dealing with the principle that if you do it... If men feel respected and women feel loved, that you halfway there.
Yeah.
If you can master that, if you can do that, it's easier to reciprocate it, because if a man feels respected, he's going to love you.
Oh, let me tell you.
If a woman feels loved,
100%.
She's going to show you respect.
100%. Babe, and I just want to go to the chat real quick. Nikkei said, I was raised to respect the position through my mom. She respected through all the infidelities. And that's important because I want to denote all. I know you got something, but let me say what I want to speak to that really quickly.
Okay.
Listen to me very carefully, babe. There are many times where you find yourself dealing with an issue that doesn't go away. And if you have a fundamental idea of what it looks like to respect the position of a person, it will cause you to go through with them. However, that same level of respect that you have for the position also enables you to understand, listen to me very carefully, guys, what the position does not get to have as a pass. Mm-hmm. Just because you hold the highest office in the land does not give you a pass to abuse that position. Mm-hmm. Am I there, babe?
Yep.
See,
yep.
you know, we've been around a long time. So I want you guys to understand that in a marriage, just because I walk in the office of a husband and you are commanded, if you will, through scripture to respect.
Respect is not...
Let me tell you what it's not saying. It is not saying be an idiot and be a fool.
Right.
That's not what we're saying. And that's why when I said this in the beginning, there are levels to this. Right.
And actually it's funny because I just had a conversation with a coworker this week. We were sitting at lunch and they had the impeachment hearing was on TV. And she's, I don't know if I'd say she's a Trump supporter. She's conservative. And so she was saying that she was bothered that she felt like everybody was coming at him. And, she's like, God put him in this position and that we should respect him because he's been put in this position as the president of the United States. I was like, I respect the office of the president.
Sure.
I have no problem respecting the office of the president. But that does not mean that I don't get to call out wrong when someone's doing something wrong.
100%.
That does not mean that we don't get to speak truth just because a person is in a certain position. Yes, I respect the office of the president of the United States, but what I do not respect is a person who's abusing that authority, who has shown a history of lacking integrity.
Yeah.
And the same goes for in a marriage. I will respect you in the position of my husband.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that you get to not have integrity. That does not mean that you get to just do whatever you want and that not get addressed.
Cherie,
and you don't,
please
there
say
are
that.
still boundaries.
Say that for the people in the nosebleed section.
You do
again.
not get to do what you want just because you are in a position. You do not get to abuse your authority in that position, even as a husband. Respecting the position of your husband does not mean that you sit back and become a doormat.
I want you to stop right there.
That is not what that means.
I want you to stop right there. And for that reason, guys, listen, the word respect has gotten a bad rap.
Right.
The word submission has gotten a bad
Right.
rap. There is a negative connotation that comes with that off the break. I'm going to put it in this context, boo. When a man feels disrespected, it makes him want to fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, for some women, too.
I got you, but we're talking about men for a second.
Okay.
And the reason why, guys, I need y'all to hear this in context. When I say that fundamentally this is how I'm built, you are not fundamentally built that way.
Right.
As a woman. God didn't make you that way. He made you to love easily and have to work at respecting.
Right.
He made me to respect easily and to work at loving.
Right.
That's the way we're made. Now, it doesn't mean that we both don't need it, but one is an air supply for either of us.
Right.
In other words, if I'm not loving you, I'm cutting off your air supply.
Right. Right.
That's the oxygen by which you breathe.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to respect me, you're now cutting off my air supply.
Mm-hmm.
And when my air supply is cut off, it's very difficult for me to breathe out love.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm being choked.
Right.
I can do it, but it's not nearly as easy. Whereas for you, the opposite is true. If you're not feeling love, you can't breathe out respect.
Right.
So I need y'all to understand that context, because at this particular point, Cherie, what happens, I think, often is that people get stuck, and they get stuck in this tit for tat. And we're going to talk a little bit about the crazy cycle as we move on throughout the next couple of weeks. There is this crazy cycle because when he feels loved, he gives, or when he feels respected, he gives love.
Right.
When she feels love, she gives respect.
Right.
And if those cycles are broken, you will have this vicious circle going around and around and around where you will constantly feel unloved. I will constantly feel disrespected, and our marriage will not go anywhere.
Right. And I just want to challenge you guys before we get off to go back and reflect on how were you taught what respect and what love look like?
Yeah.
Culturally, things are taught differently, and I appreciate Nikkei sharing. Nikkei grew up; she's Nigerian, so the culture there is very different. But even as you grow and become functional, and you understand what healthy relationships look like, you'll be able to, not to say that that worked for her parents. That's what their culture was, but there are certain boundaries. I mean, there's a whole lot of cultures that do things that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things the culture do that doesn't make it wrong.
Right.
So you have to look at what is healthy for you.
Yes.
What is where you need to put healthy boundaries in place as you're learning how to respect your spouse, as you're learning how to love your spouse. Just like a woman needs to feel loved. That doesn't mean that you need to cater to me and give me everything that I want. That's not loving me.
Ooh, please say that again. So are you saying that it's not true to say a happy wife is a happy life? Is that what you're saying?
No, you should not be jumping through hoops to make me happy. That's not how you love me.
My goodness.
That's not what love is.
Spoken by a woman.
I don't need somebody to coddle me and treat me like I'm helpless.
Right.
That's not loving me.
Right.
And also I don't need, in the confines of marriage, if you're looking for a lasting relationship, you don't need somebody that's going to jump through hoops and give you everything that you need and everything that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because typically most women, if you have a yes man, that every time you ask for something, he's like, yes, that's fun and exciting in the beginning, and you like, I can get what I want. But at a certain point, something's going to happen in your relationship where you're going to need him to step up and be the head. But because he is always deferred to you, you're going to see that he can't do that. or he's not going to do it because he thinks it's now going to upset you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to grow old real fast.
Real fast,
when
no
you
doubt.
need him
No
to be
doubt.
the man. Because at some point, all women, when we get married, when we settle down into a relationship, we're looking for somebody to come alongside us.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for, especially if you've been a single parent, if you've been, you've been out here doing this grind on your own, all these, the whole reason why you get married is to be able to become a union with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm still doing everything, or I'm still running stuff,
why do you need me?
Why do I need you? What is the purpose in you being here if I'm still running everything?
Because you because you can procreate without the marriage.
Right. Part of us getting married is so that I can hand over some of this stuff to someone else.
That's good.
For you to take that on as the head of the house. But if I'm still running everything, that whole, well, I'm gonna just make him think that he agreed. Nah.
Ooh. Wait a minute. You running it, but you gonna make
I'm gonna make him think he really. No, you still running it, so you still carrying all that stress. Why are you married?
Y'all listen, Cherie, you going into that's the talk 2 weeks from now. We got so much that we're gonna unpack over the next couple of weeks. Here's what I want y'all to do. Phyllis is saying, so grateful for Maps. She said, come on, the coach is in the house. Come on now. No, guys, let me tell y'all something right now. This is so true. And I think that unfortunately, babe, because no one really gets in a room with people that talk right. like this, and that more importantly models what they're saying. And I'm grateful for our Maps community because we're not perfect, right. but we are winning. Right. I promise you, last time I checked, you don't have to have a perfect season to win the championship. Right. So we're not perfect, but we are absolutely winning. And I think that what people get out of that is just this good, hard, honest, speak truth in love, be supportive, no judgment. We got you, let's get this together kind of feel that allows or enables people to feel like they really are going to win. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to break down the crazy cycle. We're going to talk about why men communicate the way they do because of how they built. It's really how they see the world. We're going to talk about why women see things the way they do and why it's very difficult sometimes for a woman to get a man, particularly her husband, to see things from her perspective. Once you ride this journey or take this journey with us, guys, I think it's going to give you a good insight as to how to address that. We do want to encourage you, again, that if you're not a part of the MAPS Relationship Academy, please look into signing up and being a part of that, because on Tuesday nights, we're drilling down on this with our couples real deep, because we're going to talk about your specific scenario. On Tuesday nights at 8:30, so that's 7 o'clock, at 8:30 on Tuesday nights, we're drilling down on this with parents. Yep. What does it look like to love your daughter, fellas, and teach her what that looks like, so that as she grows up, there's an expectation of how she should be loved. I need y'all to hear this. One of the reasons, listen, I'm not finished, boo. I'm not finished. The reason why our girls grow up and allow, and I'm just going to say it like it is, men to treat them the way that we've gotten away with is because they were never modeled by a man. And I won't say never, that's a strong word. In many cases, they were not modeled from a man what it looked like to be loved unconditionally by a man who didn't want nothing from you. Right. Let that breathe. Listen to me. When I love my daughter between her toes, and I'm the one, going up to the school, dating her and taking her out. That's why I look at Dre on Instagram. It blesses me when I see you posting pictures of, you and your daughter, and y'all, taking her to golf lessons and all of that kind of different stuff. Just spending that time. When she is going to grow up knowing what it looks like to have a man love her properly. When she doesn't have that, she has a void shaped like a man in her heart that is yearning to be loved properly by a man. This is why, listen to me, guys, it is critical that you are consistent in your daughter's life, because if she has that void when she goes into marriage, she's going to take whatever he gives. Right. And she's going to call that love. Right. And it's not. And it's not. Now, the pendulum swings the other way for the men. Yes. Please, please, please raise your sons to know how to love women.
train your sons how to respect women. We often in today's society, because it's so sexually inundated, there's so many things that boys are not being taught how to love women. And also, ladies, if you're raising a son, get him around some men that can teach him. You can't teach him how to love another woman. You can't teach him how to be a man. Now, you can be a great parent. I'm not saying that you're not a great parent. I'm not saying that you're not there to support him. I'm not saying that you're not there. You're doing a great job doing it on your own. If his father's not involved in his life, find some guys, get him on a sports team, get him around some coaches. There are certain things that he has to pick up from being around other men, but they have to be men who are healthy, that are good examples.
Right.
Don't have him hanging around with your brother who's a womanizer, because he's going to pick all that mess up.
Right, 100%. And that's why we're going to drill down with our parents. We're doing this on Tuesday nights. Wednesday nights, we're getting with our men. Monday nights, every other Monday night, it's the singles ladies on Monday nights. The married ladies on Monday nights.
Every other
And the single ladies are every other Saturday. But then we're getting with the singles on Thursdays as a collective, men and women. The singles on Thursdays. How does it look to love and respect from those different vantage points? So guys, again, if you guys want to hear more about that and you want to be a part of that, Liberty just joined our community. She's super excited. Guys, I want y'all to share this out. Carolyn Watson, thanks for jumping in the room. I want you guys to be a part of this because we're doing our level best. We don't get paid to show up on YouTube. Quiet as it's kept. I don't think it's very quiet. We don't get paid to show up every Saturday morning on Instagram. No. We have no sponsors. There's nobody paying us anything. Right. Why do we do this? Because we have insatiable appetites to see relationships done correctly.
Right.
We have a desire to make sure that children can grow up and not have to recover from their childhood, all of their adult life. It breaks our heart to see people getting divorced over the fact that the toilet paper or the toilet lid is up or down.
And you'd be amazed at some of the reasons why people actually break up.
You know, the pettiness in relationships is sickening to me. Nobody has any stick-to-itiveness, if you will. Right. People don't have this idea of, what does it look like for me to fight for this?
Right.
I said I do.
Right.
So what does it look like for me to say, yeah, and I did it?
Right. Marriage is not an extension of a dating relationship. And what I mean by that is, I know when I got married the first time, it was like, okay, this is just the next thing that you do. I had no idea of the responsibility or the commitment of marriage. I'm like, okay, when things weren't going well, I'd quit. I'm done. I'm breaking up with you. You don't just break up in a marriage. You don't just say, I'm going to break up with you. I don't want to go with you no more. Mm-hmm. When you marry, there's a commitment to that, but we're not taught that. And I just think that a lot of times people's relationships fail out of lack of knowledge.
They really do.
It's not lack of love.
Right.
It's not
100% babe.
Even that they don't necessarily like each other. I think it's a lack of knowledge.
They don't have
going
skills
into the relationship. They don't have the skills to be able to manage, because every relationship has its challenges. Every marriage, there's not one married couple on this earth that will tell you that they have never had a challenge.
Right. If they did, they are lying.
They are lying. They have had a challenge. Now, some have had numerous challenges. But every marriage, whenever you bring two individual people together and bring them together and they have to live together, they have to now coexist together. They come from two different backgrounds, two different ways of being raised. They're two individuals with different thoughts. There's going to be challenges. There's metal. They're rubbing against each other, so there's going to be challenges. But what happens is most of us don't know how to go through those challenges. We don't have the skills to be able to go through it. And that's why relationships fail. So just want to encourage you guys, please join us back next Saturday. Also, again, please share this out. Those of you on Instagram, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel,
go to the link in the bio.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 500. We're going to have a special gift for the 500th subscriber. And then also, with my 55th birthday coming up in March, the 555th subscriber will get an extra special gift from me.
Yeah.
Once they subscribe to our group. So please share this out. Please subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell.
Yeah.
So you get notifications when we go live or when we upload videos. And as always,
we all need some help. One last thing before we go there. Miss G, you got to let us know your name. your government name. I don't know who you are. I certainly like to know your first name. Please say that again for the people all the way in the back. We need to understand that.
Right.
Listen, guys, we're here for you. You can't do it by yourself.
Yes.
If you're going to go to any place of significance, please understand we all need some help. Y'all be good. Let's talk soon. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Have a happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Y'all be good.